Hey guys, welcome back to Just So Bored again. I figured I'd do a very basic video on tools every homeowner needs, especially for those new homeowners. You just never know what to start with unless you've had experience before, you've been in some sort of construction field, electrician, HVAC, plumber, what have you. But I recommend these tools right here to start off with for your house. Some of these are a little nicer, a little more expensive tools, but it's worth getting. Because of the brand, they last. It's just some of the better stuff I've found. Some of it is a little cheaper, and you can get some of the stuff at Harbor Freight, Lowe's, Home Depot, even Amazon if you want to go really cheap sometimes. But let me go through them real quick and give you a quick explanation of why you need these tools, especially if you own your own place. So I'm going to start from left to right here. So this is a lot of people call it a voltage sniffer. But essentially it's used to detect electricity in your outlet or in your cable if you're checking wiring. So this end here, this tip, you put it into a socket, into an outlet, and it'll tell you if it's still hot. So if there's still power to your outlet. So in a case like this, let's say you're gonna do some sort of work on an outlet, or if you just wanna make sure that the power hasn't been tripped, you can stick this in there and verify whether there's power or not to the outlet. Electricians use it to verify power. You can use it for a lot of stuff, but it's always to verify if you have electricity or not. This is very basic. You always want to also verify with a meter, but this is a good start. And they're pretty reliable, especially if you get Fluke. If you can get the Fluke, pay the extra money for it because there's a lot of other brands out there. So here's some pliers. A lot of the time you see some really basic pliers, and let me show you what I mean. A lot of the time you see these type of channel locks, right? There's nothing wrong with them. They work. They're a little cheaper, and by cheaper I mean cost-wise. But I think the grip is so much better if you can afford the Knipex. And they have different sizes. Easy to adjust. Just push down here. And that's it. This one, Mac sold it, but the actual brand is Knipex. They're a German company. It even says down here if you can make that out, made in Germany. But they're amazing. They will grip just about everything. I like them a lot better than these guys, but these guys will do the trick. So you can buy this type if you want to save some money to begin with, and they work just as well. Also adjustable. So this is also Knipex, and for me, I chose this over a crescent wrench. Let me show you a crescent wrench. So this is a crescent. Nothing wrong with it, works well. But the reason I like this better, just because it's simple to adjust. You can clamp down on stuff really well. This one doesn't have teeth, so it won't mar anything. So it's essentially a crescent, but in a plier form. I like it better. Once again, it's also Knipex brand. Works amazing. I just prefer it, but there's nothing wrong with your standard crescent. Next, we got your cutters. And I know some people might be insulted by the name that they've had before, but they've also been known as dikes. Just made to cut cable, made to cut just about anything you need to snip off, you know. Work really well. I recommend getting a good brand, but most of them will work pretty good for just home use anyways. You won't typically use these unless you're going to do some sort of electrical work. Maybe, I don't know. I've seen people try to snip random things like even nails. So I leave it up to you. This is more for electrical, but it's up to you. This is a little bit higher end cutter. Different brands, different stuff out there. You can get them pretty cheap, not too expensive. Wire strippers. If you're gonna do any sort of basic work in your house, rewire an outlet, put up a fan, things like that, wire strippers are very handy. They typically cover all the basic sizes here. Sorry about that. All the basic sizes here. Hopefully you can see that. It tells you the different size cabling. Strip it, you can cut. Worthwhile, you'll need it. Obviously, screwdrivers, you got 2 different types. Got your flathead, got your Phillips. That'll cover just about every screw out there that you'll run into. Now, there is different types, size heads as well, and lengths. Up to you what you want to get. You can probably get a set of screwdrivers for probably 30 bucks in different sizes and lengths in like 10 pieces. All handy. Or you can always go and cheat a little bit with the ones that have the interchangeable head. You remove them, you swap it. Sorry, lost that one apparently, but they also work as a nut driver. So, also works just as good. Level. Anytime you're gonna hang a picture, use a level. I don't think you'll use it much more than that. Might be wrong, maybe you're gonna hang a cabinet or something, a little DIY. Use a level, well worth it. Hammer, I think that one speaks for itself. Doesn't have to be anything special. If you're gonna hammer any nails in, like I said, hang a picture, need a hammer. You're gonna break some drywall, need a hammer. A lot of reasons why you could use a hammer. You're angry, get a hammer. And talking about hanging things, this is a stud finder. So if there's a stud behind, these lights will light up and tell you where the stud is. Actually, I think the batteries might be dead on mine right now, but normally you'll see a little light come up. Let me see if I can find a piece of wood and I'll show you. All right, here's a piece of wood. See? That's how you'll find a stud behind some drywall. Very handy. That way you don't gotta keep making holes. You'll know where your stud is. You'll be able to hang something with no problem. Measuring tape. That's up to you how you want to use it, but great for measuring if you're going to cut any sort of lumber, wood. You want to measure something from the floor up, like let's say you're going to hang a picture and you want all of them at the same level, so you measure from the floor up 5 feet or 4 feet, however many inches, up to you. A lot of uses for measuring tape. Very handy, very necessary. The last 2, I think they're important, but it's up to you how in depth you get into your work at home. Plumber's tape. Always handy. Not everything requires it anymore. Some things come with gaskets, but plumber's tape helps when you're putting, let's say, a new shower head or you're changing out your sink. Things like that, you might run into the need for this. And let me show you, it looks like that. Electrical tape. Also, depends on what you're going to be doing, your need. But once in a while, you might need some electrical tape. So I will leave that up to you. But that's it, guys. I mean, that's what I think everyone needs and should have, at least if you own a home or you do any sort of work in your home. But leave a comment down below if you think we should add anything else to the list or any thoughts, ideas. But that is all. So we'll catch you later. We're just aboard again. Make another video. Later, guys.